Hi everyone, today is a fragrance video and we are going to be talking about my Chanel fragrances. I am in possession of quite a few of them. I generally do like Chanel perfumes. I have most of them here that I've repurchased over and over again. Today I'll share with you what I have, what I love, and what I don't love so much from the Chanel lineup. First, let's start with the number 5 line, and I cannot fail to mention my personal weakness, my personal favorite, which is number 5, Parfum. So the extract, the really dense perfume, not the eau de parfum, but the step up from that, the purest version that they do release. And it comes in a little bottle like this. It is already fairly frequently worn. I think probably maybe by spring I'll need a new bottle again. Unfortunately, this is the most expensive version of number 5, but I continue to purchase it because this is supposedly pretty close to the original and I absolutely love this scent. It's a classic. There's a lot of nostalgia with it, obviously, and it's a pretty popular scent, but there's something quite magical about the cleanliness and the fizziness of the aldehydes, of the ylang ylang, of the combination of jasmine and rose, and obviously iris is here as well, of the little slight touch of civet at the background. It just gives it a little life. It gives it a little funk. It livens up and it lifts the combination of the notes a little bit. And of course, the mossy, woody base that I really love in Chanel. It's all here. It's all magic and it's all beauty. This is a gorgeous scent for those of you who like aldehydic fragrances with a woody, soapy base. The number 5 really is perfect for that. I do like the Eau de Parfum. I don't have it and I've previously only owned it once. Probably I will be purchasing it sometime soon. I know that there is a limited edition packaging out right now, so I might just get my hands on it in limited edition packaging. However, the Parfum will always be with me. I tremendously enjoy this particular formulation and I really treasure my time with it. It's a very special scent. If you're interested in number 5, I would highly recommend trying it out. One that I just finished up, so this is more of a representative. I want to purchase it again because I think the scent is actually extremely useful and wearable, and this is the number 5 Le, the most frequent release, I believe 2016 release if I'm not mistaken. And I finished it completely. I do need to replace this bottle, and initially I was very unimpressed with the scent. I didn't really like it. It's a lemon meringue version of number 5. It's really lightweight. It wears decently, you know, not super long on longevity, but it's okay. It's like a eau de toilette concentration, but wears more like a good eau de cologne, somewhere between the eau de cologne and eau de toilette. I do enjoy it, and to my surprise, I was reaching for it a ton, and I worn it out much faster than some of my other Chanels. And although initially I wasn't very impressed with the scent, I've grown to absolutely love it because of ease of use. I think this is a good introductory number 5. If you don't like the line, but you like the idea of wearing a 5, try the Le. It's very easy to use. I think you will like it. And for me, it's like a cologne splash kind of concentration, body splash concentration of number 5 that I like wearing in the summer, spring and summer. So definitely will be repurchasing. So to my surprise, because I didn't really expect that to be the case, because I did like it, but I didn't love it initially. Apparently I love it because I used it up and I use it all of the time. The next scent in this lineup is the number 5 Eau de Toilette. Apparently it's one of the closest to the original formulation of 1921. Which is when number 5 was initially released, it's what, 100 years for number 5. That's why the special packaging is out. Eau de Toilette is one of my favorites. You'll hear that about all of these because I actually really like the number 5 line. It is a slightly more lightweight and a little funkier, a little heavier in civet and woodier combination for those of you who don't don't like the density in the Eau de Parfum. It is gorgeous. I love the bottle too, so very beautiful presentation, to me very classic. It has this magnetic top, which I really like. In general, wonderful iteration of number 5. Probably less worn than a lot of the other ones. The Eau de Parfum is probably very much worn. The Le is pretty popular. The Parfum extract is less popular, and Première is also pretty popular. So out of all of them, this is the least feminine and girly. None of them really are particularly girly, to be fair, but nonetheless a really treasured scent for me. This one is an absolute must for me and my wear. This is a softer, fuller Eau Première. This version has a lot in common with the Le, except Eau Première is a little softer and more feminine and heavier on the sweeter notes. This one is also this lemon meringue quality. It does have that quality to it, but a little bit more citrusy and lightweight. If you like Le, you will probably like Eau Première. It is a very wearable scent, more wearable than Eau de Toilette, I would say. And probably more wearable than the Eau de Parfum as well in my books. So I think you will like it. It's easy to wear as well. Again, less vintage, more modernized sort of formulation. A must-have for me, and it's a repurchase, obviously. So is the Eau de Toilette. So is the Parfum, and the number 5 Le is going to be a repurchase as well. So all of the 5ers are definitely close to my heart, and I certainly appreciate and love them a lot, as reflected over here. Then we have Gabrielle, one of the newer-ish releases in the line. This is pretty floral, very white floral. If you're a lover of white florals, you will like it. Kind of generic, unfortunately. I was not as impressed with it as some of the other reviewers that I've watched. I was disappointed. I think for me, Gabrielle was supposed to be something more mysterious, something more classic, maybe unachievable, idealistic. It was going to be something more interesting than a straight up white floral. So I feel like it's an unfortunate release for them. Not my favorite in the line. The intense version is a little bit more interesting, but still, this is not a line that I particularly love from Chanel. And I might even sell this. I'm kind of bored with it, really bored with it. I have about 1/3 of the bottle left, but I don't really feel very appreciative towards this fragrance because a straight up white floral is something that's been done so many times that it becomes nondescript and forgettable. And unfortunately, Gabrielle for me is that. I can fathom that somebody else might really enjoy it, but for me, they should have done better. Then we have Coco Mademoiselle Eau Prive. This is the only Mademoiselle that I can wear. I know that Mademoiselle line is very popular, especially the Mademoiselle Eau de Parfum. And for me, this is the only version that I can actually wear on my skin because patchouli is extremely heavy in the Mademoiselle line, and it's just all that I can get on my skin. Patchouli is like incredibly loud on my skin, so it doesn't work for me. But the Privé, it doesn't have that heavy, punchy, crazy patchouli. This is a floral, a soft boudoir, slightly vintage-inspired floral. Much more interesting as compared to Gabrielle and another white floral I'll mention in a minute. But Coco Mademoiselle has this casual yet old Hollywood personality to it, where it's like an old Hollywood starlet, but she's in her home in front of her vanity, getting ready for bed, putting a little dusting of perfumed powder on her décolletage. She's wearing a sheer peignoir or like a night gown and a little robe over it. So it's all very theatrical, as you would see in a vintage movie about someone rich and famous. So for me, Privé is that. It's a lovely formulation for those of us who cannot take the punchy patchouli of the Mademoiselle line. If you are a fan of patchouli and you love that part of the fragrance, then you will probably be less impressed with Eau Prive because it's absolutely lacking that. And I'm grateful that they released that because that's the only Mademoiselle that ultimately I can even wear out of the lineup. I do like it. It's not an extreme, overwhelming sense of love as I do have for the number 5 line, but it is something that speaks to me. It is something that I do find fun and valuable, and I do think that it adds to the line for sure. So Coco Mademoiselle Hors Première is in fact a fragrance that I quite like from their line, and I will be keeping for sure. Repurchase, we'll see, but so far I've been enjoying it. This guy, however, I've been repurchasing for decades. This is the Coco original, not the Mademoiselle, but the original Coco in the refillable container because I repurchased it, therefore I just buy refills. And this is a spiced floral, quite complex, very 80s, very theatrical. I always say that it reminds me somehow of Christmas time in rural England in a well-to-do household from 1920s. That's what really pops into my head. And we're talking about a woman, probably not a mother, probably a worldly, well-educated, well-traveled persona, and someone in a wool midi skirt and an Angora white sweater. I don't know. I have a pretty clear mental picture of, I've used it so long that I've formed a pretty clear mental picture of who I imagine to be wearing it. I wear it quite frequently, especially for Christmas and around winter time. It is quite heavy. It does have a bit of a civety undertones to it. So it can be challenging to wear, and it's definitely got that vintage flair of 80s fragrances that we're all very familiar with. So beware, but masterpiece, but beware, you know, if you're not into vintages, if you're not into spicy fragrances, and when I say spicy, I mean something with like cloves and like something with edible spices really added to support the pretty heavy structure of the fragrance. Lovely floral. It does have that soapiness that Chanel fragrances generally do. I'm very appreciative of it. I haven't been reaching for it for the last maybe 8 to 10 months. So hopefully this year I'll pick it up more. I probably have about half of it remaining, maybe a little bit more, but I'm happy with Chanel Coco. I can't really imagine myself not having it because it's such a staple for me, specifically for the holidays. Unfortunately, I don't really reach for it the rest of the year. Let's migrate over here to the 19 line. And I have 2 of the 19s, the original, the Parfum. This is an oldie but a goodie for me as well. It's an early spring fragrance. It's green, it's slightly bitter. It has a very woody masculine edge to it. It's a stone cold bee kind of fragrance. I enjoy it tremendously. I think it's a very well constructed, beautiful, poetic fragrance. It's for somebody who's probably introverted and probably not for someone who wants to attract a lot of attention. This is a fragrance with a ton of self-confidence, and it does ask for a little bit of a formality. You know, it can be worn casually, I suppose, but probably in quite a quiet and less social setting. I don't see it as a fragrance that's going to make people feel cozy or comfortable around you. Certainly not a cozy fragrance. But perhaps if you want that cool, aloof vibe, which I sometimes really enjoy, I think 19 could really work in your favor. For me, this is a work fragrance. I like it for work. And 19 is just a generally well-constructed, genuine gem. JJJ. And I think you will enjoy it, but you do have to have a specific fragrance taste to enjoy it. So this is definitely not an easy buy. Certainly, I'd like for you to wear it before you purchase it. It's hard on the nose for someone who isn't a fan of more green fragrances, more niche fragrances, or more vintage fragrances. So try at your own peril. What can I say? And a fragrance that is also from the 19 line, but much more wearable, is 19 Poudre. And it's going to be an absolute find for somebody who loves a vintage, beautiful, gorgeous, luxurious powder. This is a slightly green irisy powder. And it also has this coolness, this aloofness. It does have the 19 DNA, but it does have that dose of irisy, high-end, extremely expensive body powder, vintage body powder that I do like a lot. So a wonderful powdery offering from the Chanel line, not to be overlooked if you are a lover of a cool iris aloof greenish powder. It's really beautiful. Again, not for everyone. I think this is a fragrance that some people also might feel it smells a little bit unapproachable. For me, though, it's a must-have for sure. I really, really like that one. I've repurchased both of those fragrances in the past. Chan's line. We're really speeding through this. I am determined not to make this last forever and to be as concise as possible. So Chan's Eau Tendre is a floral fragrance that I do enjoy for spring. This is a repurchase. The only one from the Chan's line that I did purchase more than once. This is my second bottle, and this is an Eau de Parfum. Previously, I believe I had an Eau de Toilette. I like the Eau de Parfum a little bit more. The longevity on it is more impressive. So here we have a lightweight floral. It's the Chan's rosy floral. It has a lot of fruitiness to it as well. It's a young student who just started last year at Sorbonne, and she still feels like she's all that. She's creative, she's fun, she's bubbly, she's a little bit maybe romantic. This is an easy pick, easy to pull off, easy to wear, easy to dose, just an easy fragrance. If you like fruity florals and you want that lightweight, bright and easy floral, then Chan's Eau Tendre might be a good pick for you. The next Chan's that I have is new to me. This one I just got fairly recently, and it's Eau Fraiche. This is a citrus in the Chanel lineup that I do enjoy quite a bit. I tried a few floral citruses from the Chanel, and this is really, it won over by a big margin my attention. Here we have a very clean citrus, but not cleaner type. It's natural smelling, I would say, with a lot of floral support. And it's another easy pick for a freshie. So I don't think this is a masterpiece. I don't think this is going to be like a forever love. For me, I don't think it's something so special that you can't get it anywhere else. I think it's a very nice lemony floral. If you like lightweight citrus florals, then and you want it from Chanel, then I think Eau Fraiche is going to be a good pick. It is in fact fresh. That's exactly what it is. It's easy to wear. Again, really kind of mindless pick for this late spring and summer when it's really quite warm. So for me, a good pick, a solid fragrance, you know, not anything out of this worldly, but definitely something that I can see myself wear into oblivion. I don't know about repurchasing. It is a bit generic in its own way because, I mean, it's a citrus floral. It's going to be, unless there's something outrageous going on in the background. There isn't. So easy, lemony floral, Eau Fraiche. That's how I would describe it. It is a good pick, but not a necessity in my mind. This one was a disappointment, unfortunately. I really tried to wear it because it was a gift. I really, really tried. I really tried to love it. I never fell in love with it, although God knows I worked on it. Look at that. I probably, if I purchased it, I would probably have resold it, but it was a gift. So I had a bit of a feeling of having to wear it, especially around the person who gave it to me. It was not my husband, by the way. He knows better than to buy blindly fragrances for me. He follows my lead when I'm hinting at what specifically I would like. I have particular tastes. So Chanel Chan's Eau Vive here. For me, just as Gabrielle, like both of these guys were such a big disappointment because both of them are like a clean white floral, super generic. And honestly, Gabrielle maybe has a little bit more personality. Vive is a yawn for me, unfortunately. Again, I was disappointed. I really wanted to love it. I'm sure there are people out there on whom it smells amazing. I don't doubt it. There's always that. But I think here it's just them releasing something to release something. I don't think it adds to the lineup very much of Sean's fragrances. In general, quite disappointed. I'll probably use it up. There's really not much left, but I will not be repurchasing for sure. I might get something else from the Sean's line to try and to see if I enjoy more than Vive. But Vive I was interested in because it's a floral and I do enjoy florals, but florals are very difficult to do in a way that is original in any kind of capacity. Here, oh, no thanks. I'm not impressed, unfortunately. And we'll be putting it aside. If you like white florals, you'll probably like it because it's generic enough that you probably, like if you put it in an unidentified, unlabeled bottle, you probably won't recognize where it's coming from because it is pretty generic. So that's what I have for my Chanel fragrances. What do you wear? And these are just the designer side of the line that is easily accessible. What do you wear out of these lines? And we have Gabrielle Chanel 19.5 and Coco Mademoiselle, if you count it as a different line. What do you have from these lines? What do you love? What do you wear a lot? What do you repurchase? I'm always curious. So leave that down below and tell me more about it. I'll talk to you later. Have a good day. Bye-bye.